Hi, this is Alison, Little Miss Grosser, back with another video. I think it's been a couple of weeks since I uploaded anything, so I thought I would update you with some things I've watched recently. On YouTube, I think the first thing I watched of late was a film called The Dungeon from 1970 something, which Vipco released a few years ago. Um, it's like it's also known as the Jekyll experiment, and there's another name for it as well, but I can't remember what it is. But it is the most god awful, badly acted load of crumbs you've ever seen in your life. But I really, really, really enjoyed it. It's absolutely appalling. The whole thing looks like it's been put together by a 5-year-old. But it's just one of those films that's really enjoyable, despite the fact it's absolutely crap. But yeah, if you like so awful that they're brilliant films, I can recommend The Dungeon, aka The Jekyll Experiment. Straight after watching that, there was a film recommended to me called Psychic Killer, which was another Vipco, I think. I'm pretty sure it was. It's certainly been released on Vipco. I'm pretty sure it's been released on Vipco. And I thought, well, you know, I'll give it a go. Some of the Vipco titles and that is just like, no, avoid that like the plague. But it sounded intriguing. Thought it was maybe going to be like a bit like Carrie. Now, for the most part, it is pretty entertaining. But as it gets towards about the last sort of 20-30 minutes, the violence in it takes a pretty grisly turn. I'm not going to say what happens because it will spoil it for people that haven't seen it. But yeah, it's got Neville Brand in it, who played the bad guy in Toby Hooper's Death Trap, aka Eaten Alive, I think. But there was another film called that, so they changed it to Death Trap. So yeah, that's that one. Watched and one of my favourites a couple of days ago, watching a bit of Live and Let Die from 1973, Roger Moore's debut as James Bond. And I used to be absolutely petrified of Baron Samedi and his snakes when I was little, but I'm fine with it now. Good job, because the ending's a bit weird, to say the least, but I think it's really cheesy and really funny now. And it's actually become one of my favourite Bond films. I love them all up to GoldenEye, which is the other ones I've got in my set. But I also like Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Casino Royale. There's a few that I'm just like I'm not too bothered about, but I love Live and Let Die. I also watched a film from this year, I think it was, or last year, called Popeye's Revenge, which now Popeye's in the public domain, they thought it'd be a good idea to turn him into a horror character. Now, normally I wouldn't watch something like that, because despite the fact I love death metal, I also like cartoons, and I don't want to see things like Winnie the Pooh and Bambi ruined for me, but there was something that's compelled me to watch Popeye's Revenge. And it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was strangely enjoyable, but the ending was a bit, what? Apparently there's a sequel to it, but I'm not going to bother because I've got a horrible feeling they're going to churn out about 50,000 of them, and they're probably only going to get worse. So yeah, I don't think I'll bother with that. Or bother with any of the sequels. Sorry. What else have I watched recently? Last night I watched a film from the early 70s, I think it is, called Three on a Meat Hook, which is nothing like as gory as it sounds. It's another one that's so bad it's awesome. The acting is appalling. The blood is day glow red, and there's not that much of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's about a young lad who lives with his father on a farm, and the son meets four girls whose car has broken down, and he offers to let them stay at the farmhouse, and then the bodies start piling up. But again, it's so bloody awful that I've kind of got a bit of a soft spot for it. So that's Trying to Meet Hook. And the last thing I have watched recently, which is something I have finished watching about an hour ago, and that was oh god, I've got to try and remember this. The Killer Reserved 9 Seats, which is a giallo. I quite like the giallo subgenre, and I thought, yeah, we'll give it a go. And it's the only giallo film that I've seen that I actively dislike. It's very plodding. The characters are annoying for the most part, and it just plods. I wish I liked it, because it was one of my YouTube friends, Vida X Forever, that was talking about it on his channel a few days ago, and I wanted to like it because he's a really cool guy, but yeah, disappointed is a bit of an understatement, but you can't like everything, can you? Anyway, I've finished blabbing on now. Hopefully be back with some more content soon. In the meantime, look after yourselves and tatty bye.